I wish Dad's gone for 6 or 7 days.
Evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's 6 p.m. on November 15th. Two meetings will be held tonight, a public budget hearing, and then a special town meeting will follow that. It is 7 o'clock p.m. I'm so used to 6 o'clock, aren't I? Proposed budget is presented to the electors by Chairman Nystrom and the town board. If you have the packets, these are the revenue and the expenditures that the elector or the clerk, treasurer, myself, and then followed by the town board members reviewed and made any changes that we could to represent a reasonable budget. We'll give you some time to take a look at those. If there's questions, address them to myself, and I'll try to find the answer for you. Yes, sir, your name for the record, Mr. Head?
My name's Ron Head. I live at 2521 Blueberry Lane. I'm on this VAT sheet, which is the second sheet in the packet, I guess. It's Town of Grand Rapids. It's a notice of public budget hearings. And I guess all through the years here, I assumed that garbage collection was a special assessment. And I see that special assessment line is blank, and that garbage collection is included under public charges for services on there.
It appears on your tax bill as a special, yes, you're correct. But it has to come into the budget, and it has to be expended out of the budget. Comes in it as a receipt into the revenue side,
Yeah.
and then there will be an expenditure to the service in your expense section.
So why isn't it part of a special assessment under the top one?
They call it a special charge, it's not a special assessment. That's the correct term, isn't it, Chris?
Special charge.
Special charge.
I think special assessments would be like, to my recollection, if there was a sidewalk put in or something like that, or a road that for
Okay.
some reason you had to have done, and so then you might be assessed, you individually would be assessed that cost.
Okay. I assumed it was right, I just didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for the question. come up, or I'll give you another minute. If not, we'll move on.
On the bottom,
Go ahead, please, name for the record.
Doreen Alfred,
Yes, go ahead.
where it says projected revenue, what do we compare that to? 2755? 580 on the, it's back on that little page. So you're projecting that the revenues for 2016 are going to be $2,794,120, the little bottom thing? Compared to 2755580, or the total 2955? In the budgeted revenue?
Down on the bottom is this year's 2016.
Well, right, so the budget for 2016 is it 2,959 is the revenue, or is it the 2755? So actually, your revenues are higher projected for 2016 than the budget.
The 2755 was the revenues for 2016's budget.
Right.
And then the 203,885 is what comes from the general fund to balance it out.
Okay,
So which
your-
totals then the 2,000.
So your projected revenue then is higher at the
Then what it shows here,
2,794.
this is what Doreen's looking at. This budget amount.
She's looking at here. She's looking at this right here.
I'm referring to the question.
Are you looking at the
What page are
sheet
you
that looks
looking at,
like
Jerry?
this? You're looking at this one, okay.
So see, at
As
the
a
bottom, you know, like at the county, we have to do what's your projected revenue for
Yep,
the year.
yep.
So it says it's 2,794,120,
Right,
and what was budgeted was 2,755,580.
Correct.
That you're comparing it to. So you have more projected revenues than what was budgeted.
Right, we did.
that's correct.
Right, we had
Because of-
$31,000 for a road project that came in that was expended out, but it's an income that was not technically budgeted for until the property owner agreed to have us do the blacktopping. He reimbursed us first, and then we paid in the expenditures.
The amount you're seeing up in the left column there, that's what they budgeted last year for this year.
Right,
But the
right.
projected down there is what's projected now at the year
Is
end.
that
Right, and she's asking why is it projected higher than what we budgeted? So she's
Yeah.
just wondering what revenue came in that we didn't budget for.
But your expenses are also projected to be higher than what was
Budgeted.
budgeted. No, it's lower. Lower. It's lower, okay.
Should be lower because, all right, one more question, Shirley?
Yeah, are you combining 2 and 3, or are we going to 3? Or where are you on the, are you on?
I'm on the electric and speak.
Yeah. Oh, okay, so you're on the electric, okay, all right. Then-
I presented it in paper form to you, now it's
Okay,
your
all
turn to
right,
speak.
then I'd like to speak.
Go ahead.
Okay, my issue is the police department budget. 4 or 5 years ago, as we all know, we had a referendum, and this budget seems to be increasing, alarmingly, especially when the taxpayers voted down the referendum. And if the budget for 2017 is going to be 617,000. If you look at the 2013 actual budget, that was 444,000. And in 4 years, that's going to increase $172,000. And, this number is climbing alarmingly, in my opinion. And wages are going to increase, insurance is going to increase, cars are going to increase, all the costs are going to increase. And just take like the medical, it's a 63% projected increase in the budget from, it's going to be $30,980 increase to $79,000.
There's an explanation for that, why the medical is high. It's not just the insurance company raising our rate. It's because the officers that we have now have family plans. We had 2 officers before that were single, and now we have officers that have family medicals, so your insurance costs do go up, and that's the cost of the primary cost of the raise. I think that amounted to 30,000+ was just the change because of the going to family plan medicals.
Well, I mean, the point is that, these costs are going to be increasing every single year. And we're pretty soon, in no time flat, we'll be at close to $1 million budget and for a population of less than 8,000 people. And I think the taxpayers, I think they would be actually quite surprised and alarmed at that after they voted down a referendum saying they did not want a full-time police department. And for all intents and purposes, I don't think any of you can argue that we're probably there already. I know you're claiming it's just 3/4, a couple officers are just 3/4.
1 officer.
Okay, 1 officer. And basically, we have a full-time department. And that was not what the residents wanted 5 years ago, whenever that referendum was. And I think it's, I think this township needs to take another look at this and see if this is where we want to go. Or I think whether we, like I said 5 years ago, we don't want a full-time police department, and our taxpayers want to pay almost $1 million in a few years for a police department. So I think the town board should be asking that question in a referendum.
All right, thank you for your comments. Is there anybody else wishing to speak to the budget?
Mr. Chairman, I would like to speak.
Yes, go ahead, Kathy L.
I would like to make a comment about the police department referendum that was just referenced. The police department referendum question that was placed before this town several years ago was not a question of do you want or not want a full-time police department. It was a question of do you want to expand the police department to add 2 patrol officers, 1 investigator, and 2 police squads. That referendum was shot down, but the question was never a matter about whether we wanted a full-time police department. We've had a full-time police department here since I can remember moving to this town. And also, I just wanted to clarify, for anyone who might have questions, when you do look at the numbers that were just referenced, where 2014 compared to 2016, do take in mind that during some of these, the 2013, 14, 15, those are actuals. They would include any vacancies that might have taken place, any unpaid time off if somebody had to have some time off without pay because of, let's say, a medical leave or something. So it's not necessarily comparing apples to apples. That's the only comment I wanted to make.
Okay, any other comments on the proposed budget? Seeing none, I'll ask for a member of the town board to make a motion to adjourn the public budget hearing.
I'll make that motion.
Motion Dan, second.
A second.
Kathy, discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye, any opposed? Public budget hearing is closed, and we'll move to the second portion, which is the special town meeting. It's called to order by myself, Chairman Arnie Nystrom. I need a motion from the electors to approve the minutes of the April 9th annual meeting, which was the last meeting that we had a official official town meeting, April 19, 2016.
So moved.
Motion Shirley, second. Don Bone. Any discussion here? Any discussion? Go ahead.
Yeah, on number 5 of the annual meeting, I brought up a suggestion that the town look into a grant for recycling containers. Has anything been done about that?
Recycling garbage committee, have you done anything?
No, we haven't.
No, they haven't. Any, is there a motion, any other questions on the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor, and this would be if you are a Grand Rapids resident only. You need to raise your hand so that they can be counted for approval of the minutes as presented. Okay. Those opposed? Motion carries. The minutes are approved. Clerk will now read the estimated tax information, including the proposed tax rates, and you want to point out to which items you want them to look at.
That'll be your second to the last sheet in the packet where top says Wood County tax rate form. And we have all the numbers in so far except the state tax rate. So the number you see there is last year's, but we kept it in there to keep everything so you can at least see something what it's going to come out at. We also don't have the school credit, so down below the state school credit. Both of those numbers should be in by early next week. So right now, the state tax rate for last year was the 17 cents per thousand, so that's just in there for now. The county tax rate we just got today, that's going to be $5.48 per thousand. Our tax rate here in the town is $2.99 per thousand. The school tax rate, $10.88 per thousand. Mid-states, 87 cents per thousand. So right now it gives us a total of 20.08 based on the state if it stays the same. So, and then again, the bottom, we're not going to have that until probably a few more days yet. So.
Any questions on that? Go ahead, sir.
Morning, Mayor, 3630 Richmond Hills Drive. How do those numbers compare to last year's?
Your sheet right after it, if you look at the next sheet, then that gives you both last year and this year. And the difference. Right on the top section of the next sheet.
And for reference, obviously we don't know if there's a change to the state. The county is a 27-cent increase. Town is projected to be 11-cent increase. School at a 30-cent increase. Mid-State Tech at a 3
cents.
3 cent.
So a total of 71 cents?
So far, if the
So
state
far.
stays the same.
Any further questions on those? Hearing none, we'll move to item 4. This would be a motion from the electors to set the town tax rate or the town dollar amount. The proposed rate that the board is proposing is $2.99 per thousand, or the proposed dollar amount is $1,415,631. Is there a motion to approve that, or anything less, nothing greater?
Make a motion to approve the 299 cents.
Name for the record?
Mark Rush.
Is there a second?
Second.
Jim Alford in the back. Discussion. Go ahead,
I
Wayne.
have to, I am voting no on the budget because of the referendum that was 5 years ago, regardless of how you voted on it or why you voted on it. I was always told we do not have a full-time police force. I was on the board and asked several times of the chief of police, do we have them? He said, no, we do not have a full-time police force. That's why I would like to go to it. I am voting no on it because I think the taxes will escalate up, and pretty soon we'll be $1 million. We was offered something from the sheriff's department because we are paying double right now. We was offered a package and it wasn't even looked at by this town. So I will be voting no on it.
Any other comments? Hearing none, a motion to approve the, was it at the $2.99?
Yes.
Motion to approve the town tax rate at $2.99 was motioned and a second. All those in favor, raise your hand to support it.
Yes.
Okay.
Got 4.
Okay. Those against? Motion 4 was, how many?
16 for.
And 8 against. Motion carries. The town's tax rate is $2.99. Thank you. Motion by the electors to establish hour rate to be paid to town employees who are elected town officials, and that would be in the case of an emergency only, that town board members may go out and throw wood off the roads, or disaster would happen. We might be shoveling the roads, I guess. Typically, this has not been anything that we've used in the 20-plus years that I've been on the town board. I don't expect it to, but it's a formality that we need to have in place in the event that we would ever have a catastrophic event that the town board members would have to take action. The current rate is, you know,
1527.
$15.27. Is there a motion to leave it the same or change it, lower it?
Mark Rush, I make a motion to keep it the same.
Motion by Mark Rush. Is there a second? Anywhere?
I'll second.
And Mr.
Jim Forrest.
Motion made second. Discussion? Here again, all in favor, raise your hand to signify yes.
I'm abstaining.
Those against, raise your hand. None. Motion carries unanimous. One abstention, as I think I heard.
Yes. Because that might be one.
Chairman Nystrom announces that the 2017 annual town meeting will be held the third Tuesday in April, which is April 18th, 2017. Those meetings have typically been set at 7 o'clock. Is there any reason we need to stay there, or 6 o'clock? Normal board time okay, or, you know, that goes at the county bill, Towns Association?
I'd like to change it to 6 o'clock. I make a motion, we have it at 6 o'clock.
On April 18th, 2017. Is there a second to Bill's motion?
I'll second.
Motion, Patty. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Wait a minute. Raise your hands. I'm sorry, we're acting like a town board here. No, we're not. We're citizens. Those against? Are you just holding out for the cookies after? Motion carries. Last item on the agenda is motion by the electors to adjourn the meeting. Shirley and Don. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. We need a show of hands for that. Show of hands till adjourned. Those against? One against.
Oh, White House.